Hi there. Now today we're going to be building this element here, which is called a snowflake, for obvious reasons. Now again, this is the core flute version with the modules illuminated by modules. So the basic principles of construction are pretty much the same as all the other ones that we've got in our catalogue. So let's just proceed step by step and we'll show you what we're doing. Again, you'll get this in a, it'll come folded, so you'll unfold it and clean off any bits that you think need to be cleaned. Most of them will be cleaned in the workshop, but you may feel you will need to clean some, and you can use the sandpaper just to clean some edges off if you feel you need to. We use a dry rub paper here. Okay, so obviously the first thing you do when you get it is you want to seal that join up like we normally do. Again, blue dot facing you, and of course it'll only fold one way. So let's just run some clear tape just to seal that off. And like I've said in past videos, you can actually put extra tape on there if you like. You can, I've got a bit of a crease in that one. I'll try to eliminate any creases. So you can run another couple of bits of tape either side, but we don't personally think it's necessary, but if you feel you need to, you can. Let's just trim these guys off. Yeah. Get off there, that's nothing. So let's trim off there and there. Okay. So again, once you've taped that, you'll find that it's actually quite solid. It works really well. Okay. Now the just trying to get off there. Okay. So now there are two stems to this snowflake, the larger one and the smaller one. Each one has its own sized F-side. Again, all our items come individually packed and wrapped. So just for the sake of convenience, we'll start at the one with the blue dot as a reference point. Now what you'll get is a slotted or slitted piece of core flute called an F-side. As with all our other elements, these are already pre-cut for you. Now this F-side comes with the two green lines. That just is there to indicate the starting point or the corner of the actual of the stem that you're working on. So obviously this is the bigger one and this is the smaller one. So you can see they're both the same in so far as construction. So the smaller one will fit on the smaller one, the bigger one fits on the bigger one. So what we'll do now, there's two ways of doing this. You can either put that in position, and with your masking tape you can actually tape this down in position without gluing it, and then run, so you can see what I'm doing there. So then you fold that around, tape it down. I'm just doing this a bit rough for you, but bend him round again, so you can see it'll actually fold around to the shape of the actual stem. So you can actually tape all that down, and then you can, when we're doing the ribs, which if you've seen our other videos, you know that we put ribs in the corners here, and I'll just show you the rib here where I've got it. Let me just see what we've got here. So this is a fold rib here, and this will actually be the rib that folds. Well, let me just get the right one here. So you can either tape all these together like that, and then put your ribs in with the glue and hold that together, or alternatively you can glue as you go. Now in this case it's just a matter of what you feel you want to do. we tend to glue as we go. So what we do is I'll run glue along the two corners here. So let me just run along there and then along there. And I will put him down in position. So because I know where that's going, I can see based on the corner piece going into the corner, I know where that starts. I prefer this method because you can glue and you're getting that extra bit of glue underneath, and also when we put the rib in, you'll also get some extra glue there. So we'll just tape this guy down here just to hold him in position. Like we normally do. So you can see what I've done there. I've actually glued him into the corner. Now it's just a case of going around, and you can do as many sides as you want. I mean, it's probably easier just to do one side at a time. So just run a bit of glue in there. Again, you can run some glue in the corner here if you like, just to give it a little bit of extra strength. You can lift him up there like that. Just fold this around so that you can see where it's actually going, if you're happy with it. And again, just hold him in position for a second or two, and then just put a bit of tape on there. So maybe just fold him back around this way, and run a bit of glue in there like that. Now you can run all the way along here. That's probably just as easy, so you can see what I've done there. Just fold him around. Just hold him there for a second. I could have run a bit more glue in there if I wanted. Put a bit of tape on there. A couple of bits of tape. Yeah, you can see it's as simple as that. Now there'll be some trimming required, which you'll do as you come around and add the next pieces. So we'll just do this side here, just so you can see what I've done again. So we'll run a bit of glue along there, just to put him in. So lift him up. You see you can bend him around. Once you've got him in position there, just hold him there for a second or so. Bit of tape. Just to hold him down. Again, I'll just fold him back out. Now you can run a bit of glue in there if you like. I don't particularly think it's necessary, but it actually ends up being quite strong. So again, we fold him around, lift him up, bring him into position there, wherever you feel comfortable, that you're happy with. Okay. So you can see I'll put a bit of tape there to hold him down where I like him. Okay, so you can see it actually fits. I prefer to do it that way as opposed to taping it down. Just in this situation here, there are others that we do tape down. So you can see there that the thing's actually made quite well, fits quite well. Okay, apologies for that reset. Where were we? So you can see what we've done here. We've glued the one of the F sides on. One thing I neglected to mention was that if you want, you can actually clean that green line off with a bit of methylated spirits, just to get rid of that, because it does give a little bit of shadow in the corner. It may not be an issue for you, but if you don't want that green line there, you can actually clean that off. So that's the first longer F side. You can see it fits in quite well. So what we'll do in the next one is we'll do the smaller one. Now with the smaller one, because you actually have to because you have to make sure that it fits, I'd try and dry fit it first. So what you need to do is get the corner in first. So again, the green line, which you can clean off if you like. So we'll fit the thing in the corner there. You can see what I'm doing, and then I fold it around. Now, once I see that I'm happy with it, and in this case here, these don't need much trimming. Then, if you know where you're going to start, which is obviously in the corner, once you've dry fitted it and you see that it fits to your satisfaction, then you can start gluing. Now, some of these may have some bits of off-cut there that on the side, which you can sand off if you like. Depends how fussy you want to be. Now these will go either way because they're symmetrical. Everything on here is symmetrical, so it won't matter which way you fit the actual strip. It'll fit both ways. So in this case, I'll go on this side. I'll start on this side, and I'll run a bit of glue on the corner here, just on the two sides that make up the corner. I'm not cleaning my green line. And then I'm going to stick him down in position. So the key is to make sure that the corner lines up. So when you fold that around, the corner has to line up with the corner, and then you'll find that everything else will line up accordingly because they've been pre-cut for you. So you shouldn't have too much of a drama there. So you can see I've stuck that down. Again, I put tape on all my sides that it's come loose. For that reason I do that, so because as you're moving it you can actually loosen the side, so you don't want to do that. Once it's stuck down you want it there, staying there. So I will stick some tape down. Okay, you can see I've just stuck the tape down there just to hold that thing in position. Now because this is a slightly smaller one, I'll run glue all the way around for this, so I will run the glue to all three sides, and then I will stick him down. So because they're folded to the depth that you need, it's quite easy to get it to the right shape that you need. So you can manipulate it to get it to the correct shape that you want. Again, what we do is we put some tape on the corner here, which you'll remove later when we put the anchors in. So bring them over. Put your tape on. So we'll try and just get this in position here. So we'll put some tape on there like that. Okay. So we fold that around. So we'll yep. Again, we'll do the same on this side. We'll just run the glue. Again, you can run some glue in the corners to fold in if you like. I don't tend to do that. So we're just going to run that in like that. You'll soon get the hang of it. So you can see what I'm doing here. I'm folding, folding, and folding like that. And all you've got to do is just get it to the shape that you want. You can see there I've followed. Now this part goes down further, so that it meets up with the longer one as it comes across. So what we'll do there is we'll put a bit of tape. Now I tend to use the edge of a bench. I find it easier using the edge of a bench to set the tape onto the sides. So you can see what we've done there. So we've pretty much got the two stems. And the process is basically that. So big one, small one, big one, small one, big one, small one, and so forth till you get all the way around. Now we tend to trim these as we go. Some of these you can see I haven't run the glue all the way there, so I may just have to run a little bit of glue inside there just to strengthen that up a bit. Or alternatively you can leave it till you put on the ribs inside. So what we'll do is we'll stop the video. I'll go along and build all these sides, and I'll come back and show you the next step, which will be fitting the F-ribs for strengthening. Okay, we're back. Now we've assembled our snowflake. You can see all the sides are done there. Again, with all of these items, until you've got the ribs and the anchors in, they are a little bit flexible, so just be careful when you go to move the unit around. Now at this stage, if you like, you can add a little bit of hot glue into the corners here, which will hold the F-sides where they join together. You can do that. I mean, it won't be as critical because we will have the anchors that go to hold that together. So, as in all our elements, these will be held together by the anchors that are the fixing points for the back. So we won't do that right now. Okay, now we're going to be doing the F-ribs now. Now, obviously, there's two sizes of F-ribs here because in everything of this element there are the long and the short part of the snowflake. So you're going to have a shorter F-rib and a longer F-rib. So we'll just go ahead and I'll just show you the differences in the so you can see there's a short one and a longer one. Now these again will be marked in the packet, so you won't have any confusion about what you need to use. The short one, which folds a certain way, will go in there, so it'll go into that sort of zigzag section there, and there'll obviously be another one on the other side that will go in like that and like that, so they'll fit in like that. And alternatively, the longer one, now you can see that one side of this is longer than the other side. Obviously that's the part that goes along here, and you'll zigzag that in there like that, so it'll go zigzag in like that. And alternatively on the other side, these are symmetrical, so they'll fit on both sides, so they'll just go in like that and tuck that in like that. So we'll do a couple of these just to show you how they go in, and then we'll now again I'll start at the blue dot just for a reference point. So just make sure you glue the right side when you put that in. So let's just dry fit that first, just so you are sticking the correct side, and we'll just glue him in like that. So you can see what I've done there. I've actually fit him into the zigzag there, and that's going to be holding the F side to the face as usual. And again, with all these items, you can run a little bit of extra glue along there if you like, just to give it a bit of extra strength. You can do that at the end if you want, after you've glued them all in. So again, just double check that you're getting the right side, that you don't put the glue on the wrong side, which will be a nuisance. I think from memory there are spares in the kits. I think there's one or two spares of these, so you can glue that whole thing in there like that. And you can see where it's going, sort of tucked in there like that. That'll give it a bit of strength. Now this is one of the reasons why we don't glue in here as we're sticking the sides down, because then these don't sit. I mean, they're okay, they're reasonably flexible, but they don't sit as neatly in if you do that. So we leave that clean, and then we glue in afterwards with these with the ribs, and then you just add a bit of extra glue as you feel necessary. You can do that as you go all the way along. And then so you've got the longer ones there. The shorter ones are exactly the same, so they pretty much go in like that. Make sure you glue the right side again. So I'll just put a little bit of glue on there. It's easier obviously gluing the actual rib than it is to try and get inside there, because this is a tight fitting. You can't get in there with a gun really well, so we'll just glue that guy in there like that, hold him in for a second or two, and again just dry fit your, make sure you got them the right way there. Okay, that's good. An easy way to remember it is you glue the side with the two slits, so you can see there's one slit there, there's two slits there, so glue the side with the two slits and you can't go wrong. So we've glued that, and this can go either way, it's not critical. So once you've tucked him in there like that, Now it will be just where they meet in the corner there. They will be a little tight, so don't panic about that. They'll just squeeze in there where they meet in here. That's just getting tight there. So, and again, all these do are just give you that little bit of extra strength. So it's not super critical. So you can see some of them are a bit tighter in here. Depending, there's a variation in the thickness of this material, so some of the material may be slightly thicker, so it might not fit exactly right, but you can see there that they're just a little bit squashed in there, but that's fine, that works okay. So I'll just do one more for you for the sake of it. So again, same thing with these. The one with the 2 slits is the side you glue, and that's only got 1 slit there, so always glue the side with the 2 slits on it, and you won't go wrong. So 2 slits for glue, so you can see what I'm doing in here. Just tuck him in there. Pretty straightforward procedure. Now, because of the variations in the thickness of this material, because it's, you know, that sort of thing, sometimes they don't fit perfectly in there, but they do the job. They hold the sides on quite well. So we'll do one more. Keep them in there, just dry fit them in there. You can see there, I'll tuck in there nicely. So glue the side with the 2 slits on it. Okay. Stringy glue. Tuck them in there, there and there. Alright. So you can see what we're doing here. We're pretty much strengthening up all the sides, so that the sides become quite solid. And again, like I said, once you've done it all, you can just go along, add a little bit of extra glue, gives it a little bit of extra strength. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead, finish all this off, and then we'll come back to the next step. Okay, now we're back with the Snowflake here. Now you can see that I've put in all the F-ribs, the short ones and the long ones, and glued them all up. Put a bit of extra glue there. Now I've about taken off all the masking tape that was on the faces that were holding the F-sides down, so I'll just finish that off. So because you don't really need that anymore now, because the F-sides will hold the face and the sides together. Sorry, the F-ribs will hold the F-ribs will hold the sides and the face together, so you can actually peel this masking tape off. It's not required anymore. I mean, you can do it last if you like, but you may as well just peel that off now. Okay, get that all cleaned off. Now, I've gone along and I've just about peeled off all the corner tapes that we've got there, because we're going to be putting in the anchors now, which that they're all off. Yep. We're going to be putting in the anchors which hold the F sides together and give us the fixing points for the back when that actually goes on and is fitted. So again, because there's 2 different shapes on this element, there will be 2 different sizes of anchors. So you will get a long anchor, which you'll see is slit in a certain way, has red lines and green lines on it, and you'll get a short anchor which again has red lines and green lines on it. So we'll just start with the short one first. Basically this anchor gets glued between the red lines, gets folded over to create a V, which you may have seen in some of our other elements, and then gets put into the corners of the large stems. So I'll just do that for you, just so you can see. So we'll just run glue between the red lines there, fold him over like that, make sure it's level. I'll just do one, but you can glue them all up together. There'll be 12 of these, obviously. I beg your pardon, there'll be 6 of these, sorry, not 12. Obviously there'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because they're the ones that go into the corner here. So then, once you've folded it over, obviously it sits in that way, so you run the glue on the opposite side here, and he's put into position here like this. Now again, with all the anchors, they have to be kept flush, so that when the back sits on top, it sits nice and flush on the edge of the F-sides there. So that's going to give us a fixing point for this stem so that it doesn't flap up. So you can see what I've done there. I've put the put that in the corner. I'll just do another one for you. So again, glue between the red lines. Fold him over like that, just to keep it nice and even. Again, you can do all these at once if you like, and then glue on the opposite side, and just tuck him in there like that, nice and even there. Right, just run that glue down a bit so that it sits nice and flush, and you can see what I've done there. So I've set him flush there, and that will give us a fixing point. Okay, so you do that for the 6 large stems. We don't put any corner ones into the smaller ones because there's no need to, because it's well, basically it's not required. I mean, you know, the thing will hold itself down. I mean, there will be extra ones in there, so if you feel that you want to put them in there, you just have to be careful that the modules don't get in the way of that when you do put that in, but I'll explain it to you later. So here's the longer one, and there will be 12 of these. So there'll be 6 of the corner ones, and there'll be 12 of these. And what happens with this one is, again, with the red lines, you run some glue in between the red lines, like that. Fold him over. I guess you can just run it on one side if you want. You don't have to run it on both sides. Now, what happens is, that bit there will be, so you can see there's a little sort of like a crossover section there that will come around here, and what that will do is it will hold these 2 bits together, and it will give us another fixing point. So you'll run the glue in between the green lines. This one you run all the way along, and you can see where he goes, just in there like that. So you can see what that's doing. It's doing 2 things. It's holding these 2 corners together, and it's going to give us a fixing point somewhere along here and along here. So that will strengthen up that. So again, red line. So we only really need to do it on one side. I probably didn't need to run it the other way because you're just folding it over anyway. So that'll just fold over neatly like that. And again, symmetrical item, so it'll just go on to the other side. So glue on the green line side, run him over here like that, keeping it flush. Okay, so you can see when the back goes down, you've got a fixing point here and there, or you can put 2 there and 2 there, whatever you want. Like I said, you don't need anything there. I mean, that'll pretty much hold itself down. If you're concerned, there'll be some extras in there, and you can add something to it if you like, if you think that's necessary, but we've found that that's not that critical. Alright, so what I'll do is I'll go along and I'll put these corners in, and I'll put all these longer anchors in to all the corners, and then I'll come back and we'll do the next step. Okay, we're back. Now I've done all that. I've put all the anchors into their correct position. You can see she's really solid now, so you can pick this up quite easily and without fear of damaging it in any way. Okay, so that's all done, ready to go. So now the next step is to get the back prepared, which I'll just move that out the way. When you get the back, again, your back will be folded in half. If it's a core fluid one, if it's an ACM one, obviously it'll be packed as one piece. And you will find that the back will come with marks where, with this model, we use the square module. We use the square module for this. We find that works really well for us. Now you'll have the green marks, which obviously indicate where we suggest that you put the modules. Of course, we don't supply the modules again, so it's up to you if you want to replace them somewhere else, or if you want to use 50-50 strip lighting, whatever you feel is necessary and convenient for you. So the green marks indicate where we think, or where we put the square modules. You'll see some red marks there. Now that is actually the stiffener, which is a stiffening plate that goes in to hold the to give you a little bit of extra strength if you're punching, punching some holes through and tying this onto a tree or something. So we'll put that on in a minute. There's the little hand there which indicates how the stiffener goes on. You can see it lines up with that. And on the back, there's a standard blue dot, so blue dot, which is just a reference point. And on the back is the marks where if you've seen some of our other videos, we supply little anchor points that if you're going to fix it to a wall, and we'll put those on later. So the first thing we'll do here is, again, because it's got a slit in it, we'll put our tape on. Standard procedure by applying tape to the clear tape to the slit, I should say. Sorry, got myself confused there. Cut him off. Just get the crinkle out of that. So, again, if you like, it's sometimes easier just to cut the back of it, just to flip them over. Whatever's easier for you. Let's do this side here. Okay. And just a bit there, I suppose. We'll cut these bits off here, just in the corners. Alright, just cut those corners off there neatly, just so they don't get in the way. Alright, so there's your back assembled. Okay, now at this stage we will put the stiffener on, and the stiffener has the you don't have to put the stiffener on, that's why we mark the back. So if you feel you don't need it or you don't want to put that on, that's fine, or if you want to use this for something else. So basically little hands line up, just so that the marks line up with the ones that are underneath the stiffener. So we'll just apply some dobs of glue there. Just get him on there like that, just roughly in between the red lines will be fine. So that's good, that gives you a bit of stiffness there. Alright, so now the modules, which again we don't supply, we use square modules for this. Now you can use whatever you like. You can use the square, the rectangular RGB modules if you want. There's no real requirement to use these. We just use these because we find we can get more of them in there. So it just gives you a different effect. Now, if you're using square modules, if you're using sorry, I'll just get the RGB module here. If you're using the rectangular modules, then you'll just have to be careful that when you put them in, that they don't interfere with so this will be the back. So when you put the back on top, you have to make sure that that you get a module that fits in between these gaps. So the bigger one's okay, but that's why we tend to use the, we find these are a bit too long for the shape of the unit, or the shape of the element. So we find that the little square module fits in really nicely and gives us that highlight on that point there. So it's up to you, you'll work it out. If you do decide to use these modules here, what we supply, and this will be in your kit, we'll supply these little bits and pieces here. Now this is basically a little block, because with most of these square modules you will find that the cables come out from the bottom. Now what that does is that when you set it down, that's fine if you're screwing these through the fixing points that they supply, but if you, obviously in this case you're not going to do that. What you want to do is you want to fix it down without having to screw it down, because you don't want the screws to go through the back of the back. So what we do is we supply these little blocks which get glued in there, and what happens is that once you glue the little block in, and then that little block can glue down onto the appropriate space, and then you go to the next one and you put your next block on. Obviously put the next block on there, glue him on. So you would glue all these first, I guess. It might be easier once you've worked out how many modules you need, and then he just gets glued down there. So what you're doing is you're allowing the cable to come back out underneath without having that issue where you can't fix that down. I mean, you could use some tape if you wanted, but you've got the blocks if you use it. So I'll just show you what I do here. Put a little bit of glue on the actual, and we glue him in there like that. So you can see what I've done there. I've glued the little core loop block onto the square module, and you can see that the cables will sit nice and neatly once you get that down. So you glue him, run some glue there, stick him down in position however you want. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to go that way, it can go this way if you like, but the block, what that block does then is lets the cable come past underneath the bottom of the module, and you just go along and proceed and stick all those down. So what I'll do is, now there's enough to do and some spares in the kit to do all of the modules that are on here. I think there's 84 or whatever there is here. There'll be enough of these little blocks in there, and basically you'll glue all these up, stick all the modules down, and then proceed with fitting the back onto the element. So I'll do that and get all these ready, fit all the modules in, and then we'll come back and I'll show you how to, whoops, there goes my hot glue gun, and then I'll show you how to fit this to the actual back of the element. Okay, so we've done all that. We've assembled our element. That's all fixed and ready to go. The final two steps are obviously fitting your pixels. However you're going to be doing those. Either you're going to be using the squares like we've done here, or you can use the modules. The wiring's a bit messy here, but I've just done that just for the sake of the tutorial. I mean, normally what we would do is we would you can see that we've run all the stems into the center, and we would normally use a strip connector block and connect all the cables up together just for the neatness of it. But this works fine. I mean, that does the job if you want to go that way, but you can make it a bit neater, obviously, however you want to do that. So the final two steps are fitting all your modules, and again, as previously shown, you fit them however you want. You may not want to use this configuration, you can use another configuration, and then we're going to be fitting the back onto the element. Now, it's the same principle as all our elements. You've probably seen other videos and seen that we pretty much make them the same way. So once you've finished your element and you've wired your back, it's a pretty simple procedure. Again, the blue dot. So if you can see the blue dot there, we're going to line up the blue dot with the blue dot. Now I've pre-drilled some of these already, but for the sake of what we're doing here, I'm going to fit that in. Now you might find some of the cables are going to get in the way, but overall it will fit in quite neatly. So, like I said, I've pre-drilled some of these. So if you line up the blue dots, you'll find that all your points where you've pre-drilled for the anchors will line up again, so you can keep taking them on and off. So long as you line up the blue dot with the blue dot, you will always find that it will fit in quite neatly. So then it's just a matter of screwing the back in position. So again, like on all our other videos, wherever you have marked these that you want the anchors to go is where you will fit the actual screws. So 3mm drill bit, drill through. Let's say, for instance, we'll just put one in another position here somewhere. We'll put one in the top here, so you'll know how far in you want to come. Down she goes, and the screw will basically go in. Now you can put as many screws in as you want. It's really up to you. We find 10 to 12 screws will be plenty. So once you've done all that and you've fitted your back on, the last thing that needs to be done, which is an optional thing, is fitting the mounting bracket. Now again, if you've seen some about the other videos, you know what this is for, but just for the sake of it, I'll quickly do it on this video again. Again, like I said, I've actually had this one pre-fitted, so what you would get is you would get 4 of these brackets. You would get 4 of these brackets here. Now, the suggested place to put them is where you can see the black marks here, so that's where we're suggesting that you fit these. You don't have to put them there, you can put them wherever you like. So what you would do is, before you take the back off, making sure that you don't drill into any of the pixels underneath, so you've got to be aware of that. So you would actually fit that in position, you would mark it. So once you've got it, so let's do it over here. So you would fit that in position, you'd mark it there, so you'd see your 2 marks. Lift it up, make sure that there's nothing underneath, so there's no wiring or anything, and then you would drill it. So you'd have your 2 drill holes there. You would get 2 screws and 2 nuts, so you'd fit the 2 screws in there. And make sure the green dot is to the inside, and then you would obviously fit that on there like that. Let's do one at a time here, just for the sake of it. Fit one in through there like that. So he'll push in there like that, and then he'll push in there like that. If you don't get them perfect, you can just slightly drill them out a little bit just to clean out the hole, because it'll only be just a fraction where it's not quite fitting perfectly. So again, like I said, if you've seen our other videos, you just put the little, so you'll put the little nuts onto the screws that are poking through. Put the second little nut on there. These are a bit fiddly. We might update these and make them a little bit easier to handle. Just give them a little bit of a tighten. Doesn't need much. Just enough to keep it firm. Again, you can put a bit of glue or something on if you want. Now, see, I've got lost here, so I don't know where my thing is. So all I do is look for the blue dot, and I'll look for the blue dot on here, and I'll know that it'll fit every time. So that's the handiness of having that blue reference dot. So then, when you've got your brackets fitted, you've got your 4 brackets fitted. When you mount that unit to a wall, and again, you can paint this out if you like, you know, to your wall colour and that, it will give you that nice, clear, raised section, or raised, the unit raised from the surface that you're fixing to. So it'll stop any dirt collecting and water getting down and so forth. So again, these are optionals, they're supplied. And just one final thing, like I say normally on all our things, is that because we don't supply the pixels, we don't supply any exit hole for the cables. So you can just punch whatever hole you want wherever you like in there as to how you want to fit it. You know, if you want to run conduit or something. So once you've got that, and the other thing also that this bracket does allows the cable to pass without getting hinged on a surface. So it's going to sit up, and you'll see the cable will pass through there neatly. So that's pretty much it. A complicated one to make because of there's so many angles and so forth, but reasonably easy, very effective, and you can see our one operating on our channel. And I hope that helps. See you next time.